Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. My chair is awful low. Boom. There we go. I'm short, so I realize when my chair is low. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy Specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? Let me grab my glasses. Everybody's used to seeing me with glasses and not without. So let's get the glasses on. Good morning, everybody. Great morning, Miss Valerie. Great morning. How are you doing today? It's going to be a beautiful morning. I'm excited. I'm excited about today. I'm excited. It's going to be an amazing Wednesday. It's going to be a great Wednesday. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show. I hope you have gotten something out of it. If you have, please let me know. I just want to make sure that I'm not talking to myself. I'm doing peachy. I am doing so good. And I've decided that that's what I'm going to, I always say I'm doing good, but I decided to believe it and not just say it. How about that? This is the link for the Fearless Morning Show on YouTube. If you friends and family don't have it, as well as the Girlfriends Retreat. If you would like a copy of my book while it is still on sale, there it is as well. Don't forget, I will be in Tampa July 27th. Thank you, Miss Valerie. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Because these, some mornings you wake up and the good Lord just puts things on you and you're just like, okay. And that's your thought of the day. All right, let's get right to the quote of the day. What did I do with it? I just had it up. Well, here it is. You either walk inside of your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and you hustle for your worthiness. And that's by my girl, Brene Brown. And if y'all don't know who she is, Brene Brown is, she started out as a social worker, and that's what she has her master's degree in. And so she's written a couple of books, and I promise if you read any of them, you will not be disappointed at all whatsoever. You either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and you hustle for your worthiness. And I don't want to do that. Either you walk inside your story. I'm trying to copy this, y'all, so that I can share it with you. You either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and hustle your worthiness. So are you going to stand for your story or not? Or are you going to hustle your worthiness because you are not standing inside of your story? And we may think that we are not doing that. We may think that we are not hustling our way through things, but we are. I don't want to tag anybody. There we go. Because when we don't believe our story, when we don't believe our truth, we are constantly seeking our worthiness somewhere else. So today's fearless thought of the day is taking ownership of where you are. Ownership simply means, I'm reading this, ownership simply means laying claim to what is true and authentic to you. So when we take ownership of our story, when we take ownership of our truth, then we are able to take our power back. Because if we don't, then we then become powerless, because we've given our power away to someone else. So you either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and hustle your worthiness. And I think that's the question of the day that's going to go along with the thought of the day. Are you hustling your worthiness, or are you owning it and standing inside of it? Are you hustling your worthiness? Are you hustling it? Is it for sale? And let me tell you something. If it's for sale, well, you know it's for sale when before one relationship end good, you have taken no space to heal yourself. You've taken no space to redirect, rethink. You just immediately go into the next relationship. When you consistently date the same person, when you consistently get the same job, you, my sister, are hustling for your worthiness. Now, if we're going to hustle for anything, I don't want to hustle for my worthiness. So either you're going to stand in your story and own it, or you're going to stand outside your story and hustle your worthiness. A to the men, Miss Valerie. You and me both. A to the men. So once we decide that, right, then we can take ownership. And ownership means laying claim to what's true and authentic to you. And once you do that, here's what's going to happen when you do that. When you take ownership, because right now you're offended, you're mad, you're probably a little upset because, life is happening, things are happening. But when you start taking ownership, you learn to stop being offended by everything that comes at you. Because when you are always offended about something, then you're losing your power and you're losing your focus on what you're supposed to be doing. Like when I became offended at my last job, I became offended because they hurt my feelings because they wouldn't give me a raise. And because I was doing all this and I was offended. Like I'm doing the work of 5 people because you literally fired 5 people and hired me and I do all of their jobs. So you want me to do the work of 5 with the pay of none, and then you're not going to respect me in the process. Offended. But in all my offendedness, I gave them my power because they knew that as long as I was willing to stay in that rut with them, that they kind of had me, because I was darned if I do and darned if I don't. So the moment I stopped being offended, and I was like, you know what? And practice growth. Maybe they have that much confidence in me that I can do all 5 jobs. I've been doing it for 5 years. And they haven't complained. There hasn't been a problem. They haven't called me in the office. There's been no write-up. There's been no corrective action. So maybe, JoJo, if you stop being offended, then you can focus on what you're really achieving, number 1. And number 2, look at whose lives you are affecting while you are there. Now, I had the opportunity to meet so many young girls in this position. So many sisters and brothers. And if y'all been my friend for a while, before I started doing the Fearless Morning Show, I was doing Application Wednesday because I was the HR person. And I got so aggravated seeing my sisters and brothers come in with their resume on notebook paper, ripped out of the notebook with the edges still frayed. Handwritten resumes, or resumes on flash drives with pictures of them naked first before I got to their resume. And my people not knowing how to interview and not knowing that you don't know who I am, so you don't know I'm the hiring manager, so you're talking to me any kind of way. And so when I stopped being offended that they wouldn't treat me right, I realized I had the amazing opportunity to impact somebody else's life as long as I kept my focus different. And so that meant after these young people walked out my office, I walked out the back door and said, excuse me, and I introduced myself and I helped them. And that's where Application Wednesday came from. And that's why I think I did it for a year. Every Wednesday, I talked about what you needed to know about applying for a job, your job from FMLA to long-term disability, everything. I answered all questions. And then when I stopped being offended and I took my power back, then I was able to focus on what I was there for. Ownership means laying claim to what's authentic to you. And what was authentic to me was helping people. Now, I could have lost track and started focusing on them not treating me right at my job. But when I turned my focus and my ownership to what was true to me, then I was able to, like, two little girls, I call them little girls, they're grown women. And I have 5 girls like this who think I'm their mother. And I call them my daughters. And I'm just 44, but they're younger than me. They call me for everything. They call me for job information. One even lived with me. They call me for just like they would call their mama, they call me. I have one that's graduating from I have one that graduated from nursing school, and we had a deal. She was my employee, and unfortunately I had to let her go, and she was one of my favorite employees, and it killed me to let her go. And I talked to her out in the hallway. This job doesn't define you. You are going to nursing school. That's what I want you to focus on. And I required her to come and see me every semester to tell me her grades. You know what? She showed up every semester and showed me her grades. And she just graduated from nursing school. I have one going into nursing school. I have one starting a business. So once you take the ownership, once you take off being offended and you focus on your ownership and what is authentic and true to you and what you're really supposed to be doing, regardless of what other people are saying, then you're going to have your power. Then you're going to be walking inside of your story and not standing outside of it, hustling your worthiness. See, and then let's apply this to all relationships, shall we? All friendships, marriages, because this is what I understand as someone who's been married a couple of times. If I don't enjoy myself, and if I don't understand what I am worthy of and have all my self-love, there will never be anyone ever in life that's going to love me to the ability that I think I need, because I've never received it for myself. So what that means is I will search for the love that I'm seeking in all relationships, and none of them will be enough because I'm hustling my worthiness. I'm standing outside of my story. I'm not willing to do the work and do the truth. Remember yesterday, I'm not willing to challenge the self-concept of myself or what I believe versus what I'm really saying. I'm not willing to heal my soul wounds and the guidance of my truth. I don't have the freedom, the peace, the directive, nor the direction. And I'm not taking ownership of anything, period. And I'm offended for all things. So I ain't got no power. I say I got it. But when you think about it, do you really have it? Like, do you really have the power that you say you have? Because you're offended by all things. Why? If I check my ego, why am I offended? You either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and you hustle your worthiness. And when you get to the truth of you, and when you get to laying ownership that you need to live authentic and true to who you are, when you get to that part and you're okay with cutting your ego down and being humble, and when you're able to heal those soul wounds, then it's easier for you to walk in your story. And then you have your power and you're not hustling your worthiness. I'm not out here trying to convince somebody that I am that good. I'm not trying to convince somebody that I am my sister's keeper. I'm not trying to convince somebody that I'm Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only live past crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I'm not trying to hustle that. I own that. And y'all know, well, it's been almost a month now, a little over a month, when I said I'm not going to say who am I anymore. I am JoJo from North Carolina. Gerald Waddell's daughter, who worked at McDonald's, who's been in healthcare for 20-something years. I don't have to hustle my worthiness, and I don't have to question my worthiness because I'm walking inside of my story. In the goal and the purpose of the morning show, my sister's keeper, the goal of the Only Live Past Crazy specials is that I make this a safe place for you to come, for you to understand that you don't have to hustle your worthiness here. I acknowledge you. I receive you. I love you. I cherish you. You are all the things that you ever wanted to be here. You are it. And I am excited for you. I am your biggest cheerleader. And it is my hope and dream that there is something said here that is planting a seed for you to think differently. And as a result of thinking differently, as a result of being with me, the Only Live Past Crazy specialist, we're able to, 1, identify our crazy. 2, decide what we're going to do about it. 3, develop that blueprint so that now we have it on paper so that we can begin to live past crazy. That is the sole purpose of the Fearless Morning Show. That is the purpose of working with me, the Only Live Past Crazy specialist. I don't think you ever know that, but I do offer one-on-one coaching and girlfriend sessions so that you can do this as a group. If you are interested in that, let me go ahead and post that link. A lot of times, and I forget myself, that this is a business. And although I offer this information, there are other ways to work with me if you so choose. And there's the link to do that as well. Ownership means laying claim to what's true and authentic to you and focusing on that. Stop being offended, because when you're offended, you have no power. You may think you do, but you don't. You have no power when you're offended. So stop doing it. Because when you're offended, your focus is on what you're offended about. When you're offended, your focus is on what other people are doing to you. And so you're giving them all of your power. Period. You ain't got none. You may be yelling, cussing, and screaming, but you ain't got no power, boo. They got it. Because they got your focus. And so because you're so focused on them and how they offended you and hurt your feelings and not loving you right, you're not focused on anything that you need to do. You're not focusing on loving yourself. You're not focusing on anything. And so you know what you're doing? You hustling your story. You either walk inside your story and you own it, or you stand outside your story and you hustle for your worthiness. And if you're a reader, please read Brene Brown. She has a couple of books. She is amazing. But this is the question. Are you hustling your worthiness? Yep. When you're offended, you ain't got no power. You have no power. None. They have it. Because you've acknowledged that they have wronged you. You acknowledge that you're going to focus on what they did to you. And then you're going to acknowledge that I'm going to do whatever I can to prove you wrong. Who has the power? They're controlling you. But the minute you stop being offended and you focus and you take ownership and lay claim, okay, that may have hurt my feelings, but let me focus on what is true and authentic to me in this situation. I'm taking the power away from you because I'm not focusing on that. You're either going to walk inside your story or you're going to stand outside of it and hustle for your worthiness. I'm not hustling for my worthiness. I'm guilty of that because I've been married a couple of times. Had a couple of boyfriends in there, a couple of bad relationships, a couple of bad jobs. And so when you are hustling your worthiness, my sister, you have the same job over and over and over again. When you're hustling your worthiness, you meet the same man over and over and over again. When you're hustling your worthiness, you have the same problem. Everywhere you go with everybody you meet, that girl get on my nerves. That man make me sick. Who he think I am? And you will say the same thing as mama them, sister them, daddy them, because everybody trying to hustle their worthiness. Ain't nobody took time to understand the truth of themselves. Ain't nobody took time to check their ego and not get upset when something challenges what they know. Ain't nobody trying to break those secret silences and those non-truths that we keep living in all week. Are we bringing this home? So everybody hustling their story. That's why you can't get the love from your mama. That's why you can't get it from your daddy. All right, Miss Fallon. Me neither. I'm not. And y'all, let me tell you how real this is. I had to do that currently in this position where I'm at. So, y'all, I've been at this job 2 years. And when I tell you I had to stop, I was about knee deep in this hustling my worthiness. Who y'all think I'm a look, ain't nothing wrong with being a secretary. I've been one. Boo, but I done paid my dues. I'm not fixing to be a secretary no more. That's exactly how I was talking at work to myself. Who they think they are? Ask me to do the mail. Do y'all know how many initials I got behind my name? I'm not fixing to do the mail. Ego was on 1.5 million. And I was ready to hustle for my worthiness. Like, let me show you that I'm JoJo. You not fit. But I learned quick. And I've been doing this process a minute. So after I had my moment, I checked all of myself. Sit down, JoJo. Number 1. Shut up. Number 2. Number 3, if you was all that, why you got to react that way? So I had to check myself. Number 4, this is an opportunity for you. And then once I checked myself, y'all, I laughed at myself. I was like, so you gonna get offended because you getting a raise and a bonus. And because somebody is out for 2 days, they want you just to help out for a minute to do the mail. But throughout your whole day, you still able to do your work and do your work and nobody bother you. But because they ask you to do one thing, you're going to get offended. But you just got a raise that was substantial. You just got a bonus that was substantial. And you fixing to complain about what? What was the... So, JoJo, can you focus on what you need to focus on? Because your hands are full on every level. Your hands are full with Be Fearless. Your hands are full with the Fearless Morning Show. Your hands are full with the kids. And at work, you can kind of manage that so that it allows you the fullness to focus over here. And once I checked myself, y'all, I nicely told myself to shut up and sit down and be quiet. I had to stop because I was about to go hustle my worthiness. I was about to go. And let me tell you how quick it was. I had the thought that morning. It was like 9:30, 10. I promise you by 1, my attitude was completely changed to the point where my friend, my coworker's like, sister, you not mad no more? Nope. Thank you. Can you please show me how to do this mail correctly? I did it. I did it on time. I did it the way they wanted. I did it with a smile. Because I had checked my whole self. Because I'm not hustling my worthiness. I'm not going to hustle my worthiness. And the minute I check myself, I stopped being offended. Because at being offended, I'm giving them all the power. So when I did that, everything was all right. You either walk inside your story and you own it, or you stand outside your story and you hustle for your worthiness. A to the man, Miss Fallon. I had to, y'all. This ain't been months ago. This is last week. This was last Wednesday, matter of fact. And when the little girl came back, she was like, Miss Joe, thank you for doing my math. My pleasure. I answer all things. If you don't know me, my pleasure. When my children ask me for something, it may get on my nerves, but I answer my pleasure. I said, girl, it was my pleasure. Please let me know how I can help you any way that I can. Because this is what I figured out. It ain't taking nothing away from me doing mail. Because I've been the secretary, I've been the executive assistant. I can do it with my eyes closed. So if you want me to do something, I can do it with my eyes closed. It's going to free me up to do what I need to do for myself. Please allow me to do that. Oh, and you want to give me a raise? Cool. Please allow me to do that. And y'all, my coworkers is like, JoJo, like you was just 38 hot. Yes, I was. And some people are not ready to receive how I work through processes. Some people are not ready to receive. And so I simply said, girl, I let it go. It ain't that serious. I just let it go. They was like, what if I was you? And then I didn't allow them to continue to talk about it. I was like, girl, let's just talk about something else. Let's go ahead and eat this lunch. What you want? I think I want this. I didn't allow them to pull me back into my story that I just stepped outside of. You not fixing to pull me back in something I just got out of. Nope, not going to happen. I'm not hustling my worthiness. Nope. I'm standing inside of my story and I'm owning it. I'm not going to stand outside and hustle my worthiness. You know what I'm worth. Want to know why? Because you pay me for it. You want to know why you know my work? Because when you want to know something, you call me and you ask me for it. It ain't the other way around. Taking ownership means laying claim to what's true and authentic to you and focusing on that. And stop being offended. When you offended, you giving them all the power. You need to focus on what you're supposed to be focusing on. Are you hustling your worthiness? That's the question for today. On this working Wednesday. And please apply. I'm just using my job because, confessions and conversations, I'm always going to use myself. Please apply it to your relationships. I can apply it. Like I said, I apply it to everything. Relationships, friendships. Because I sure hustled my worthiness inside some friendships that no longer served me. And it took some friends who had harder conversations with me that said she or him or they are not your friend. Stop it. Even after I cried, but you don't know, we friends. No, sister, that's not your friend. You may be their friend. They not your friend. There's a big difference. And when I stopped hustling my worthiness to my friends, trying to show them how good of a friend was and they should be as good a friend to me as I was to them, when I stopped doing that, all my relationships changed. It was easier for me to find my purpose partners. It was easier for me to allow other people in. It was easier for me to be me and be okay with not having people in my life. Stop hustling your worthiness. Stand inside your story. Claim ownership of what it is you're supposed to be doing. Focus on what you're supposed to be doing. Period. Today's thought comes from Brene Brown. And this hustling your ownership comes from Exponential Living by Cheryl Rowley. I had the opportunity to meet her and purchase her book. And in there, she talks about laying ownership to your stuff. Stop being offended. Focus on what is true to you. And when you do that, you don't have to worry. Brene Brown brought us the whole thought for the day. Stop hustling your worthiness. Stop. Stop trying to convince. Stop trying to convince yourself of those relationships that don't serve you. They need me. No, they don't. Guilty. That's my friend. No, they ain't. Guilty. But if I don't do it, ain't nobody going to do it. Yes, they will. Absolutely. You either going to stand, you either going to walk inside of your story and own it, or you going to stand outside your story and hustle your worthiness. It's that simple. Ownership means laying claim to what's true and authentic to you. Stop being offended because you're giving them all your power. And they don't deserve it. They do not. So why waste? And here's my thing. If you're going to be mad about something, and I tell my kids this all the time. I tell anybody, if you're going to be mad about something, let's be mad about the fact that we keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Let's be mad that we keep finding ourselves in the same predicament all the time. Let's get mad about some of that. And then let's take that madness and energy and do something with it. Let's focus on that. Because then when we do that, everything else is going to be easier. Thank you, Miss Valerie. I'm glad I could help. I didn't even know I was going to share that today. I opened up my mouth and it came out. Y'all, I'm getting muscles. I've been working out. Getting muscles. Because sometimes I need this for myself to go to work every day. So, ownership means laying claim to what's true and authentic to you and focusing on that. Stop being offended. We're losing our power. Stand inside your story and own it. Don't stand outside of it and hustle for your worthiness. You hustling for your worthiness if you're trying to convince that man, don't leave me, boo, I love you. We've been in this a long time. Why would you want to leave me? And please understand, I know there's a fine line between working on relationships and being respectful of each other and a relationship that doesn't serve either one of you guys. And when you're grown, good and grown, you can get to the truth of that. You have different conversations. You have different outlooks. Don't hustle your worthiness. I'm just saying. So I hope this has helped somebody today, guys. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. Please don't forget to share the show, because sharing is caring. Remember, if your friends and family don't have Facebook, there's the YouTube channel where you can binge watch all the Fearless Morning Show. July 27th, I will be in Tampa. Here's the link to, I say Tampa, but I got a book signing there, and I'm going to be speaking at this event as well. And you can purchase tickets if you're going to be in the area. Don't forget the Great Girlfriends Retreat is August the 23rd through 24th. And you can still grab a copy of my book. It is on sale for $9.99. The thought of the day is laying ownership, meaning claiming to what's true and authentic to you and focusing on that. Stop being offended because you're giving away your power. And the quote of the day: you either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and you hustle for your worthiness. My sisters, let's not hustle for our worthiness today. Let's not do that. We're not going to do that today. And we're not going to be offended today. Okay? We're not going to hustle for our worthiness. And we're not going to be offended. We are going to be focused on what we're supposed to be doing. And that is changing anybody's life that you need to change. That means focusing on changing yourself if that's what you need to do. That means checking yourself and not be upset when it's challenging your self-concept of who you are and who you really say you are. And then you're going to be guided by truth, freedom, peace, directive, and direction. A to the men. All right, guys. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. Thank you for hanging out with me. I don't think I've introduced myself in the beginning. Thank you guys for coming to the Fearless Morning Show. My name is Yamitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I greatly appreciate you hanging out with me. I hope, y'all, I said something that helped somebody. It helped me. Like it helped me last Wednesday. Like I be putting this stuff in action. And the sooner you can recognize it, hit it, change it, you can move on, the better and less stress it's going to be for you. I refuse to be stressed, especially about something I can control. So please make sure you share the show, because sharing is caring. And if you have a topic or a question you want me to talk about or cover, or if you want to have some one-on-one time with me, let me post it here. That is the link so that you can do so as well. But the quote of the day: you either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and you hustle your worthiness. I am no longer hustling my worthiness. A to the man. Because that's not what we do. So if I don't hustle my worthiness, I don't have the same problems. Because I ain't trying to convince you of nothing. Because I'm standing inside my story and I'm owning it. There's no shame attached to it, so you can't give it to me. The fearless thought of the day: ownership means laying claim to what's true and authentic to you. Good morning, Kimberly. When I take ownership of that and I focus on what's true and authentic to me, I ain't got to hustle nothing. And stop being offended. You giving them your power. It's okay. Focus on what you're supposed to be focused on. Don't be offended. And I hope my story from last Wednesday helped somebody, because I was 38 hot and I was all offended because you wanted me to do some mail. Do it look like I do the mail to you? It say Dr. JoJo. It don't say mail JoJo. That's not what it say. I paid a whole lot of money for them initials. Now I need you to use them all. And they don't add up to mail. But I had to check myself. Why was I offended? Good morning, Cree. Right. And ain't nobody got time for that. But when you are hustling your worthiness, my sister, the same problems. I dated the same man a gazillion times because I was hustling my worthiness. I had the same job. Right. Can we ain't got time for that? And here's the thing. Y'all, please understand. I like to be petty. I'm petty patty. I got a slick mouth. If y'all was listening to the show earlier this week, I told you I had to check myself, JoJo. You know you got a slick mouth. And half the problems is yours because your mouth smart. And my daddy say that mouth is gonna get you in trouble one day. And this done got me in trouble plenty of times. But I'm petty. And I've been hurt because somebody been petty to me and I want to be petty back. And here's growth when I don't retaliate with pettiness because the self-validation is not important to me anymore. And when I understood that the self-validation is not important to me, meaning I don't have to give you back what you gave me. I can just leave you alone, dog. Because you see, you were petty enough to bring it to me. You were petty enough to make me the subject of whatever it is you were talking about, thinking about, wanting to do. So, dog, your interest is in me. My interest ain't in you. Oh, so let me remove myself since you want me so bad. Since you want me to be your subject, your topic, your interest, let me remove myself. I'm going to take me back. Because apparently I'm way too powerful for you to handle because you're going to be petty with me. And I ain't got time to be spending my energy because I'm great on you and you want to be petty. And when I let go of the self-validation, like you're not fixing to treat me this way, so let me show you how you, when I let that go and I remove because here's the self-validation that you need. Oh, okay. This is what you want? Well, let me remove myself. Right. And that growth, sister. Y'all didn't think my first husband, when he threw me out the car, I didn't want to run him over with the car? Y'all didn't think that? Or when he went to sleep, I didn't think about the hot grits or baking him a sweet potato pie? You didn't think I thought about that? I thought about all that growth, honey. Self-validation. Truth. The guidance of my truth. It set me free. It gave me peace. It gave me directive. It gave me direction. I was able to check myself. I laid claim to the ownership of what JoJo was doing. I took my power back. I'm standing in my story and I ain't hustling my worthiness. Because as long as I'm petty with you, as long as I feel like I got to retaliate evil for evil, I'm hustling my worthiness. And boo, Kim, you're God's girl. Jesus did not say, go out and be petty and do evil for evil. He said, I got this because we live in the kingdom. He doesn't need us to fight their battle for him. He said, you in my kingdom, I take care of my citizens. You are my child. Just chill out. I got this. Oh, okay. Thanks, dog. And I go sit my happy tail down. That comes with growth and not needing the self-validation. Because that's what's going to make us feel better. Essentially. I know Wednesday, that's what's going to make me feel better when I marched in there and told that woman what I'm not fixing to do is do y'all mail. Because do you not know that there's MBA, HCM, PhD behind my name and you want me to check and stamp a mail? That's what I want to march in that office and say. But growth allowed me to check myself within an hour and a half. Sit and tell myself, JoJo, sit down and shut up and be quiet. This is what you need to be focused on instead of focus on something that ain't even bothering you. It ain't bothering you. Is it detrimental to your health? No. Is you gonna die? No. Oh, okay. So why are we focusing on that? Because my self-validation was about to get the best of me. And I was about to go in there and hustle my worthiness. I was about to go in there and tell her why you can't make me do the mail because I got all these initials. They didn't care nothing. They know. And they still yet did not care. They didn't care. I had to work that thing out for my whole self. So the fearless thought for the day. The fearless quote of the day comes from my girl, Brene Brown. Please make sure you read any of her books. And she talks about being vulnerable. And that's the essence of the Fearless Morning Show. I do the confessions and conversations from my point of view. I'm sorry, Kim. You can clap. She says you either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and you hustle for your worthiness. Right, Cree? Girl, I tell you, Wednesday, last week. And the change was so drastic. My coworker's like, oh, you still not mad? Oh, no, I'm over that. That's like, Joe, you was just... Can we talk about something else? Because you're not fixing to drag me back into something that I done work myself out of. And please be careful of them friends that will do that. Like you done left your man and you done got divorced and you done got over it. But you get with that one friend and be like, girl, can you believe your ex-man put you through that? Can you believe your ex-husband did that? Don't drag me back into something I done work my way out of. What kind of friend is you? No, I don't want to go back there. Then you just see me cry and climb my way out of that. And then you're going to take me back in there? For why? For why? For why? I just want to know. Who was that serving? See, now I can tell my story now because there's no shame associated with it. Ain't nobody dragging me back in. I'm standing in my story and I'm owning it. And I'm not hustling my worthiness. Y'all, be careful on friends that only want to. I got a girlfriend to this day, just last week, called me, wanted to talk about a man I dated 4 years ago. Girl, well, why are we talking? For why? For why are we talking about him? And I got a degree in English, but for why? Why? And I had to catch myself because I found myself about, girl, he would cry. I nicely changed the subject. I'm not fixing to go back over something I done worked and strived and damn near killed myself to get over. We're not fixing to go back over that at all. Period. We're not doing it. Not going to happen. So be careful of them friends. But girl, I just want to chat with you. I seen your man. I seen your ex-man. And, it got me to thinking. And I just can't believe. Your mama and them the world's worst for that. Your whole family. Your friends. Don't let them. I didn't mean to go down that sideway. But, hey, to the man. Quote of the day, you either walk inside your story and you own it, or you stand outside your story and you hustle your worthiness. Thought of the day, ownership means laying claim to what's true and authentic to you. Stop being offended. You losing your power when you offended. Right. What are we going back for? Because I'm all the way North Carolina, Union Mill. What are we going back for? Why? Who said I had to do that? No, not I, said the cat. Not happening. Nope. I refuse. You can go, and I don't even want to hear about it. I'm not. We don't go back. If I was going to go back, I shouldn't have never left. If you don't go back, why are you leaving? Well, that's a good place to end the morning show. Because Rosie, you want to come say good morning? Rosie giving me the side eye because she got band camp this morning. I'm not. Stop saying that. I just woke up. We don't go backwards. Take ownership. Stand in your story today. Don't hustle your worthiness, sister. Don't be at that job trying to convince them because you need self-validation that you good. You know you good. You don't need nobody telling you shit. Shoot. Sorry. Well, you do your job every day, don't you? They know you good at it. You ain't got to convince them. If you wasn't good at it, you wouldn't be there. I would have fired you a long time ago. I fire people like it ain't. I love you, but you guys to go. Don't go hustle your worthiness to near man, near friend, no chip, no child. Don't do that today. On this wonderful, amazing working Wednesday. So there you go. I hope this has helped somebody. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining the Fearless Morning Show. My name is Yamicha Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? So I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. And I will see you here bright and early tomorrow morning, 7:15 a.m. Have a good one.